Hi everyone, I'm David Z. Moster, PhD and Rabbi from the Institute of Biblical Culture. Have you seen those videos going around the internet lately about how to pronounce German auto names, such as Mercedes instead of Mercedes, or Japanese auto names such as Toyota, as opposed to Toyota? So today I'm going to teach you how to pronounce the books of the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, in Hebrew itself. Now there's just one caveat. I'll be pronouncing these names in contemporary Hebrew dialect, as opposed to more traditional and ancient dialects. Also, I live in America, which means I have an American accent pronouncing a dialect that really exists in Israel. Let's begin with the first 5 books of the Torah, the Pentateuch, and the Hebrew names have nothing to do with their Latin equivalents. The Hebrew names actually come from the first words of the books themselves. So Genesis is Bereshit, in the beginning, Bereshit. Exodus is Shemot, Shemot, names. Leviticus is Vayikra, Vayikra, and he called. Numbers is Bamidbar, Bamidbar, in the desert. And Deuteronomy is Divarim, Divarim, words. Now that we've done the Pentateuch, most of the other Hebrew names of the books resemble their Latin counterparts. So let's begin with Joshua. In Hebrew, it's Yehoshua, Joshua, Yehoshua. Judges is Shoftim, Shoftim, judges. Samuel is Shemuel, Shemuel, Samuel. Kings is Milachim, Milachim, kings. Isaiah is Yeshayahu, Yeshayahu. Jeremiah is Yirmiyahu, Yirmiyahu. Ezekiel is Yechezkel, Yechezkel. Hosea is Hosea. That S is a shin, Hosea. As is often the case, the J's in English are actually yuds in Hebrew, so Joel is actually Yoel, Yoel. Amos is Amos. Obadiah is Ovadia, Ovadia. Some people like to say Obadiah, but that's really not the way to pronounce it. It's Ovadia, Ovadia. Jonah is Yonah, Yonah. Micah or Micah is actually Micha, Micha. Nahum or Nahum is actually Nahum, Nahum. Habakkuk is Chabakuk, Chabakuk. The next book, which some people pronounce as Zephaniah, is actually Tzefania in Hebrew, Tzefania. Haggai is Chagai, Chagai. Zechariah is Zechariah, Zechariah. Malachi is actually Malachi, Malachi. Psalms is Tehillim, Tehillim, Psalms. Job is Eov, Eov. Proverbs is Mishlei, Mishlei, which means Proverbs. Ruth is Rut, Rut. Canticles, or Song of Songs, is actually Shir Hashirim, Shir Hashirim, the Song of Songs. Ecclesiastes in Hebrew is Kohelet, Kohelet. The Hebrew name for the Book of Lamentations comes from the first word, Echa, Echa. The Hebrew name for Esther is Esther, Esther. The Hebrew name for Daniel is Daniel, Daniel. The Hebrew name for Ezra is Ezra. The Hebrew name for Nehemiah is Nehemiah, Nehemiah. And the Hebrew word for Chronicles is Divrei Hayamim, Divrei Hayamim. So next time you open up the Hebrew Bible or Old Testament and you want to take a look at a book such as Ecclesiastes, you can now call it Kohelet. If you want to study Canticles, you could call it Shir Hashirim. And instead of saying a funny sounding name like Zephaniah or Obadiah, you'll say Tzefania and Ovadia. I hope you enjoyed, and if you're interested in studying the Bible online in classes or free study groups with people such as myself or other fantastic professors, take a look at biblicalculture.org, which is the website of the Institute of Biblical Culture. I hope you enjoyed.